for a lot of my peers that know me quite well, given that I was in the private sector working for one of the largest law firms in the world, it was strange. Why has Seun moved from Clifford Chance into Nigerian politics? And Asiwaju is the reason why. In 1993, MKO Abiola won the democratic mandate. The election was, deemed one of the freest and the fairest election in our history. 12 days later, his mandate was annulled. And a young senator at the time led and raised what has become one of the most significant court cases in Nigerian history. That young senator was Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And as a result of his resolve, his courage, and his fight against the military, he had to leave Nigeria, leave his home. I don't know that people understand what that sacrifice meant then and what it means for us now. Like, you leave your home, you face a military government, and you essentially say, we will not back down. At the time, he said, all lovers of democracy will ensure that democracy is reinstalled in Nigeria. And the democracy that, I enjoy, you enjoy today comes from that resolve. That for me was mind-blowing, right? And so 24 years ago, if him and a group of other people did not stick to their guns and say we must have democratic rule, we could still be in a dictatorship. I want that to really sink in. So for me, it was like, when the opportunity came, which I'll speak about, I can join the efforts to really contribute and improve lives en masse, led by a man who has consistently, over 3 decades, shown his commitment to Nigerian people, or remain in my comfort zone in the private sector and, just watch from afar. I chose the former, and I think I chose the former because of a mixture of divine intervention and, Asiwaju's own track record. Whether we like it or not, Asiwaju is currently one of the most influential figures, not just political figures, across the continent. He is one of the most influential people in Africa, in the world's largest nation of Black people. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens when you are a considered leader, a courageous individual, and really devoted to your craft. Our journey through the APC primaries is really important because with where our nation is, it's going to take someone with courage, resolve, and the ability to do, irrespective of an applause or no applause, who has the tenacity to keep going, whether or not people are clamoring around you. It's going to take someone like that to take us where we need to go. I tell you what, for 3 days before the presidential primaries, I remember at Eagle Square, other people went home, slept, came back and changed. Our leader didn't budge. If you notice, he was in the same clothes at midday the next day. They're devoted to the cause. You need someone who's focused. And like, when I see Asiwaju, I get excited. I mean, he's my boss, so I can't run at him and hug him. But I want to say, you've given me so much. But Asiwaju will sit in a room with young, with old, with rich, affluent, with not as affluent, and still ask, what do you think we should do? That humility, that creativity, the whatever it takes to get us the nation that we need. It's inspirational. I'm in my 20s, right? And for me to be able to work for someone and see him every day who's committed to essentially reversing that trend, to saying, yes, I'm brilliant, but I will take on board the best ideas from the best people irrespective of who they are, irrespective of whether they're wealthy, they're poor, they're Yoruba, they're Igbo, they're Muslim, they're Christian. That's special. What our nation needs is someone who's bold, someone who will ask questions, someone who will say why. Like, there are times that I'm talking to him and I've written a memo. I'm excited about my memo and I'm like, okay. And he's like, okay, why? That inquisitive knowledge, that inquisitive attitude is what I think Nigeria really needs. Not someone who says to us, I know it all, vote for me. What do you think we should do? That's mind-blowing. Even in parental relationships, some people's parents don't ask them what they want, right? And for me, it was less about what I thought the solution was. I think that I represent a generation of young people who want to be involved in the betterment of our nation. We want to be represented. And so to know that there is a leader who wants to know what the people he's leading think should happen, that's the hallmark of leadership. We had experts on each sector, but the man behind collating those findings and the experts is a 35-year-old man who works directly with him and sees him every day, who Asiwaju has a lot of faith in. Why am I saying this? Because I think in a society that can sometimes be very patriarchal and very ageist, it is something when there is a leader where a great chunk of the people who do the most important tasks for him are below 35. And it's less about age and more about mindset, right? Where he's not focused on inconsequentials. He's focused on finding the best people to help solve Nigeria's problems. He's a leader of brilliant teams. And for you to lead brilliant teams, it means that you are extremely brilliant, right? If a bunch of really, really brilliant people follow you, it means that not only are you brilliant, you're able to curate, you're able to inspire. There's no politician currently in Nigeria that is running, or even anywhere in Nigeria, that can attest to having empowered as many brilliant, successful people, whether in public life or private life, as Asiwaju. All you need to do is look at the people around him, the men and women that he's contributed to building. That is the hallmark of leadership. And some people say, are there no competent Christians or what have you? Again, it's quite telling of Asiwaju's approach to leadership. You don't choose because that's how it's been done or for sentiment. You select the best. You don't compromise. You provide your people with the best option that there is for them. And I think that's why we have Senator Kashim Shettima as our vice presidential candidate. And this is my Asiwaju story.